Would you intervene if you witnessed someone being verbally or physically abused because of their race or religion?
Well, new research released to mark Holocaust Memorial Day today shows that while a staggering 1 in 4 of us have witnessed at least one hate crime in the last year, many didn't intervene. Charlotte has more.
Yes, let's take a look at the details of this, because according to the survey, 25% of us have witnessed at least one hate crime based on either race or ethnicity in the last year. Almost the same amount have seen an incident based on religious beliefs. 75% of people said that they saw verbal abuse, but some saw physical attacks, and that included things like punching and spitting. And of those who'd been a victim themselves, 60% said that no one had done anything to intervene. So those are the statistics.
Charlotte, thank you. Well, joining us now, Sue Pearl, a Jewish mother who's been a victim of hate crime, and Fiyaz Mughal, founder of the Tell Mama group, which supports victims of anti-Muslim hate crimes. Sue, you've been a victim.
Yeah, a few times now. I've obviously got that kind of face. I was trolled on Twitter, so I just closed my account.
Trolled specifically because of your religion?
Yes, look, I'm not exactly high profile, but I've done a bit of stand-up, I've done some... and I relate to the fact that I'm Jewish, and people know that I'm Jewish. And I've had... The things that came up on Twitter were just so evil and so horrible, you know. You know, to be frank with you, it was better just to completely take myself away from it and not leave myself open to it. Another thing that happened is I was walking along a street in Hendon, Friday morning, had my bags, so obviously maybe been to kosher shops, whatever. 2 men in a car just rolled their window down and yelled at me, and I really can't repeat what they said.
But anti-Semitic
It was extraordinarily anti-Semitic and very personal. And hurtful, and I just stood there and looked around, thought, did anybody else hear that? Did I just, you know, it's mind-blowing. I just need to say that I did a quick poll yesterday of some friends on Facebook, and within 2 hours I had 36 replies of people, of Jews who had been physically and or verbally abused in the street or online or on Twitter.
And we know that anti-Semitism is rising. We know that anti-Muslim sentiment is rising. This is not just one particular race, religion, whatever. It is a growing problem, I think, in society generally. Tell me about your experience.
Well, the experiences we get from the members of the public predominantly come from Muslim women who are visible. They wear the headscarf, the hijab, or they wear the face veil, the niqab. But we get a lot of reports in, as has been suggested, of women who are abused at a street level. Things are thrown at them, they're spat at. What is really concerning, though, is, for example, after the Charlie Hebdo murders and after the Paris terrorist incidences and terrorist murders, we had a lot of women who, for example, were abused on public transport, on buses and trains. But if we're talking about people not standing up, they felt the worst thing that really hurt them was that nobody stood up and actually confronted or said something to the perpetrator.
Although I have seen some YouTube videos where people have stood up.
Well, no, we've had people on the sofa where they have been defended.
The Geordies that came on
Indeed.
from Newcastle.
I mean, indeed, there's some really good examples out there, but the majority of the individuals are saying, look, what would have been really good is if just somebody stepped in and even asked whether I was OK.
The trouble is they're fearful, aren't they?
They're fearful.
You know, I always think it's easy to say until you're in that position. I'd like to think I would step in.
Absolutely.
But people might have a knife, they might be crazy, who knows? You know, these are quite dangerous times. Is it getting significantly worse, do you think, than it was, say, 10 years ago in this country?
Yeah, I know that the Community Security Trust, their figures, anti-Semitic crime is up 40% than last year. We, last night, a group of people put a huge banner up in Newcastle upon Tyne, outside their civic centre, Hitler was right. Is it in the media today? No. Yes, crime is up and nothing's being done about it.
I think the reflection today is it's Holocaust Memorial Day today, and effectively we need to reflect on actually the learning of what happens when hatred is allowed to fester in society. I think there's uniqueness in our country where actually we go for the underdog, we support the underdog, we think this is wrong, we think hatred is wrong. But I think it really is about community education, working with the young people to say, actually, you know what, we need to tackle this prejudice, because I know, working with the Jewish community as well as within the Muslim community, both communities feel that the levels of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia is rising. But you've also got still homophobic hate, you've got gender-orientated hatred. So there's a lot to do in our society.
Well, also, I mean, particularly shocking in England, I think, in Britain, because historically it's been a pretty good place for people to live from any minority group, and there's a lot of cohesion, a lot of good community spirit. You know, I mean, I think that's important to say, but I do think it is getting worse.
Yeah.